The camp of Israel was alive with awe and reverence. At the heart of the camp stood the newly constructed tabernacle, gleaming with gold and fine linen. For the first time, sacrifices had been offered on the altar, and the glory of the Lord had appeared to all the people. Fire had come down from heaven and consumed the burnt offering, and the people shouted for joy and fell on their faces. Aaron, the high priest, stood with his sons, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, bearing the weight of a holy calling. They had been set apart to serve the Most High, chosen to stand before his presence and minister on behalf of Israel. This was no ordinary day. It was a day of holiness, a day that marked the beginning of priestly service in Israel. But in the midst of this holy moment, something went terribly wrong. Nadab and Abihu, Aaron's eldest sons, took their censers in their hands. They placed fire in them and added incense. But the fire they used was not taken from the altar as God had commanded. Instead, it was their own fire, unauthorized, offered carelessly in the presence of the Almighty. Perhaps they thought it would please God. Perhaps they acted out of excitement, pride, or carelessness. But whatever their reason, their action ignored God's command. The incense smoke began to rise, but it was not received in heaven as an offering. It was rebellion disguised as worship. Then it happened. From the presence of the Lord, fire blazed forth, not to consume a sacrifice, but to consume the priests themselves. In an instant, Nadab and Abihu fell dead before the Lord, their priestly garments still upon them, their censers clutched in their hands. The people gasped in terror. A silence fell upon the camp, broken only by the crackle of fire from the altar. The joy of the day turned into trembling fear. Moses turned to his brother Aaron, the father of the two men who had just perished. He said, "This is what the Lord has said, by those who come near me, I must be regarded as holy, and before all the people, I will be honored." The words pierced the air. They were not just a rebuke, they were a reminder that God's holiness cannot be taken lightly. Aaron said nothing. He stood in silence, his heart heavy, but his lips closed. Scripture tells us simply, "And Aaron held his peace." Then Moses called Mishael and Elzaphan, the sons of Aaron's uncle Uzziel. He told them, "Carry your cousins outside the camp, away from the sanctuary." With trembling hands, they came forward. They wrapped the lifeless bodies of Nadab and Abihu in their priestly tunics and carried them out, past the people, beyond the camp. The camp watched in silence, sobered by the weight of God's holiness. Moses then turned to Aaron and his remaining sons, Eleazar and Ithamar. He commanded them not to uncover their heads or tear their clothes in mourning, lest they also die and wrath come upon the whole congregation. The duty of the priests was too sacred. They could not abandon their service, even in grief. Others in Israel could mourn, but Aaron and his sons were to remain in the tabernacle, fulfilling their holy calling. The message was clear: those who serve the Lord must honor him above all, even above their own emotions. The story of Nadab and Abihu is a sobering reminder that God is holy, and he cannot be approached carelessly. Worship is not about our ideas or inventions, but about obedience to his command. Nadab and Abihu offered strange fire, and it cost them their lives. Through their judgment, God declared a truth that still stands: "By those who come near me, I must be regarded as holy." Even today, this story calls us to approach God with reverence, humility, and obedience, giving him not what we choose, but what he has commanded.